Hey guys, my name is Amanda. I'm a cruise ship employment specialist. I worked on cruise ships for a decade and then was in cruise ship employment and recruitment services for another 5 years. And last year I started my own company called getalifeatsea.com, where now I help adventurers just like you get paid to travel the world. Today we're going to be talking about Christmas and the holiday season and why it's the best and worst time to get a job on a cruise ship. So let's get into it. So number one, why is it the worst time? Well, let's start with the bad stuff and get to the good stuff. So one of the reasons why the holiday period is one of the worst times to get hired on a cruise ship is that most cruise lines have what's called a blackout period from December 8th to January 8th. This is where most cruise lines tend to not hire or move or fly out new crew. And this is because the majority of cruise lines, or quite a few anyway, do pay for your flights to and from the ship as a new crew member. So they tend to not want to fly new crew during this December 8th to January 8th period because of the higher flight costs. So it can be one of the worst times in the fact that, again, you've got this blackout period to contend with, December 8th to January 8th, where many lines just don't do a lot of hiring. That being said, let's get on to the good stuff. Why the holiday season is one of the best times is, and I know this personally from having been on board for a decade, in my last few years on board as HR, was during the holiday season, there are times where we lose per ship anywhere from 5 to 15 to even 20 staff per ship during the holiday season. And this can be due to a variety of reasons. Often it comes up as personal reasons. They need to leave the ship for personal reasons, and they break contract and return home under what's called own will. And that's it for them. Usually that means they're not going to be coming back to the company, but maybe they break contract and they want to be home for the holidays more than they want to continue their contract. That can sometimes happen, and it often does happen for at least a handful of crew members per ship. So what that means is when that happens, although there's this blackout period that cruise lines tend to not love hiring a ton of staff during, what can happen is that there can be these urgent needs during the holiday period for staff. And so if you're someone that's out there that is available immediately and is cool with leaving ASAP, like I'm talking about you applying and then somebody calling you, 24 hours later and saying, can you be on a ship in 72 hours? This is the time of year where if you are really flexible and available immediately, and by immediately, I mean immediately, cruise lines will take that information if you apply to them around this time period, in the fall, and they will take you up on that offer sometimes. So when these dropouts happen and the ship loses a handful of crew, say, if there's an urgent need, they will put out a call for immediate replacements. And they will, of course, take the candidates that have stated they'll be available immediately. And so again, if you've got your suitcase already packed, and there's a few people I know in this room watching on Periscope that already do have their suitcases packed, like Susie and Jonathan, this can be one of the best times of year to get on a ship, to break into this industry when you've got these dropouts happening, these people leaving own will from the ship. So that is another kind of pro, why it's the best. But another thing to remember is that there's certain positions where there's going to be higher volume of hires, even if it's during the blackout period, December 8th to January 8th. So typically this has to do with certain positions such as youth staff. So youth activity staff facilitate activities for youth on board during seasonally busy times of year for extra kids to be on board. And obviously that means things like the holiday season, spring break, summer, things like that. But the holiday season, really the whole month of December and all the way up to mid-January, a lot of cruise lines will hire even more youth staff than normal for seasonally shorter roles, but for the holiday season. So there's certain jobs where the cruise lines are actually hiring more than other departments. So there you have it, guys. Worst time of year and the best time of year. The trick is being ready, being flexible, and applying now and being ready for it. So if you are interested in getting a life at sea, be sure to check out my website, getalifeatsea.com. Subscribe to this channel, and also check out my other social media platforms. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, LinkedIn, Periscope, YouTube, everywhere. Just search me under Get a Life at Sea. And if you would like to book a free Skype discovery call, I offer free 15-minute calls for people that are really serious about getting started and working towards living the life of their dreams and getting paid to travel the world. So email me. The email is on my contact page, but you can also email me direct at info@getalifeatsea. So thanks so much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.